Nick here from Key Issues, back at it again with another video about Avengers Infinity War. We've picked up a ton of subscribers in the last few days, so if you're new, please take a second to hit the bell notification so that you get the heads up on all of our latest videos. And, we try to give you a ton of good info and some comic knowledge to impress your friends, and we do have a ton of other non-Infinity War content, so feel free to check that out also. But we're going to ride this Infinity War wave because we got a lot of theories going right now. Today's video contains some mild spoilers for Avengers Infinity War. If you haven't seen the film, you might want to go watch it and come back. Don't say I didn't warn you, but let's face it, if you're still here at this point, you're ready for these theories. That being said, today we want to discuss just what happened to the Infinity Gauntlet at the end of Avengers Infinity War. So, for those of us who have seen the movie, and I'm assuming that's everyone at this point, we all know that something happened to the Infinity Gauntlet at the end of the film. Basically, during the climax of the film, Thanos obtains all of the Infinity Stones. He at this point has the power to remake reality to whatever he wants it to be. We've been told about 40 dozen times during the film that his goal is to wipe out half of the universe in order to bring balance. Thanos wants to do this in order to bring about a weird, warped utopia where civilizations thrive and flourish instead of die due to resource constraints. I mean, I guess it's kind of a noble cause, but it's also super dark. I mean, think of it this way. Couldn't he have just snapped his fingers and increased the amount of resources available throughout the universe on a massive scale? We know what happens. Thanos gets the stones, he snaps his fingers, and half of the sentient life in the galaxy dies or evaporates or whatever you want to call it. Thanos did it, he won, but at what cost? After he snaps his fingers, you can clearly see something happens to the gauntlet. It implodes on itself a bit, it seems to crunch inward, and it also is pretty clear that the stones aren't lit up anymore. So what gives? What happened to it? Obviously, we have to wait for the events of Avengers 4 to truly know what happens, but I'm going to give you some educated guesses, and then you can take them and pretend they're your theories. The Infinity Gauntlet is an extremely powerful weapon, but it's not all powerful. It does have limitations in the comics, and I want to give you a few examples of times similar things have happened to the Gauntlet in comic books. Maybe once we have those established, we can make an educated guess as a group, and you can let me know what you think down in the comments. A few of these examples are what-if scenarios, so I won't cover them a ton as they aren't canon, but they establish power levels for the Gauntlet and things it can do in main continuity. In the story, What If the Silver Surfer possessed the Infinity Gauntlet, the Silver Surfer goes a bit off the deep end and decides to bring complete order to the galaxy. When Doctor Strange manages to summon his old bae, Shalabal, Silver Surfer snaps out of it and uses the Gauntlet to destroy itself. This is, I believe, the first time the Gauntlet is shown to be able to be destroyed. The Infinity Stones are used many times throughout comic book history, sometimes being destroyed and then recreated. It's clear that they can be destroyed in this capacity in the movie as well, when Scarlet Witch decides to end Vision's life by using her power to destroy the Mind Gem. However, in the comics, when this happens, it usually means pretty big consequences. Another example of pretty interesting behavior comes when Reed Richards eventually gathers all of the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet. Realizing the power he now wields, he attempts to will the Gauntlet out of existence, but fails. This leads to the Illuminati each taking an Infinity Stone and keeping it under close watch. Iron Man takes the Reality Gem, Professor X takes the Mind Gem, Namor takes the Time Stone, Black Bolt takes the Space Stone, Doctor Strange takes the Soul Stone, and Reed Richards takes the Power Stone. They maintain these gems for a while, and then they eventually disband. The biggest clue, though, comes from the events of Time Runs Out, and this is Jonathan Hickman's story that saw the Avengers and New Avengers attempting to stop the destruction of the universe by incursions. Incursions occur when one reality smashes into another, leaving only one, or in some cases even destroying both. The Illuminati and the Avengers attempt to use the Infinity Gauntlet to stop an incursion, and the Gauntlet actually breaks. And this is a really important moment in recent comic book history as it shows that even the Gauntlet has finite limitations. Later, after the events of Secret Wars, the Infinity Stones were recreated in an instant and scattered throughout the galaxy, showing that they also have the ability to reborn as reality is remade. It's unclear what respawned these bad boys, but they exist again, and it's important that they do. It shows they have the ability to be reborn, remade, or reignited, and I'm pretty sure we're getting a ton of new stories featuring them now. So what does all this mean? Why am I bringing this up? Because at the end of the film, the Gauntlet shows similar signs to things we've seen in the comics. And here's my theory, and it's pretty simple. I'm sure it's probably your theory at this point as well, too. I think the Infinity Gauntlet is spent. The realization of what Thanos was asking the gauntlet to accomplish was a lot, and when it was completed, the task took all the juice it had with it. Keep in mind, all of existence is a pretty big place. So where do we go from here? Well, I think that the first thing the Avengers need to do is find the remnants of the Infinity Gauntlet and get it back from Thanos. They need the gauntlet to be remade, possibly by Eitri the Dwarf, and to reignite the stone somehow. Maybe this happens organically over time. Maybe there's another method that they have to use in order to restart the stones individually. I'm not sure, but I think we will learn more about what needs to be done during the events of Captain Marvel. Thanos is definitely at his weakest right now without the power of the stones to protect him, and this means that he can be defeated by somebody like Captain Marvel, Thor, or even Hulk. But if they give him time and the stones are just able to be reignited or remade, they're going to lose that window and he'll be just as powerful as he was before. They need to figure out how to get the stones working again, and then use them to make the reverse wish that Thanos made, bringing everybody back. All of the Avengers are reborn, and then they can bring the old pain train to Thanos' front door. Now, I have a number of theories about how each Infinity Stone can be reignited, but that's going to be a separate video, so you're going to have to hang on to your butts for that one. That is about it for this video. It's a short one, but I hope you learned a few things about what the Infinity Gauntlet can do in the comics, and some of the times the stones in Power Glove have been damaged or destroyed. If you learned something, go ahead and show it off. Talk it over with your friends and let us know down in the comments section what you think about our theory. And if you learned something, then give us a like and subscribe. We appreciate it. This has been Nick from Key Issues. Thanks for watching, and remember the motto, comics over everything.